Hello everyone, and welcome to the solution for the phone screen for the e-commerce company mock interview. So, this was the egg problem. You should have seen this before in the riddle section, but just to reiterate what the problem statement was. Basically, you have 2 eggs, 100 floors. The eggs are strong enough so that they can be dropped from a particular floor in the tower without breaking. If you drop them below that target floor, they're not going to break. If you drop it above, they will break. So, how can you find out what the highest floor an egg can be dropped at without breaking in as few drops as possible? Let's go ahead and see the solution for this. So if you don't understand the solution, there's tons of different explanations online. You can just Google 2 eggs, 100 floors, and they'll basically go over different ways of showing you this same solution. But let's go ahead and get a basic idea of how we can go about this logically. So let's say you start from floor number 10 and go up to floors in multiples of 10. If that first egg breaks, say at the 20th floor, then you can check all the floors between 11 and 19 with the second egg to see which floor it will not break at. So in that case, your worst case for number of drops is 19. If the threshold was the 99th floor, then you would have to drop the egg at least 10 times and then the second egg 9 times in that linear fashion. So for the best solution, what we need to do is minimize the worst case number of drops. So for that, let's go ahead and generalize that problem to have n floors. And this is something you should definitely do in an interview, generalizing problems. That's huge. The interviewer will really like that you do that, and it's really necessary to solve this problem. So what will be the step value for that first egg? Is it still going to be 10? What if we have 200 floors or 1,000 floors? How do we figure that out? So the point to note here is that we're trying to minimize the worst case number of drops, which happens if the threshold is at the highest floor. So our step should be of some value which reduces the number of drops of that first egg. So let's assume we take some step value m initially. Then every subsequent step is m minus 1. So you have m plus m minus 1 plus m minus 2 plus ... all the way to plus 1 equals n. That n number of floors. And so this is actually a series which you can describe as n times n plus 1 divided by 2 equals n. This is basically the trick to the problem. If you're able to convert this into this equation, you can probably get here by yourself, but realizing that it equals this is a little trickier. Alright, so now that we know we have 100 floors, if n equals 100 and you solve for m here, then you would get 13.65. And since 13.65 is a decimal of a floor, we're actually going to round it up to 14. So now we know the worst case scenario is when the threshold of 100 floors, the first 14 floors with the number of drops being 14. So this is actually just a simple binary search, and that's really what the interview question is getting at, if you're aware of how a binary search works. Alright, with that being said, if you need to review anything for this problem, definitely review what a binary search is, because that's really the key to understanding this problem. Alright, go ahead and review the solution. Make sure you know this problem pretty well. It's probably the most common riddle or brain teaser out there. Alright, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next solution.